this evening.
Thank you.
I just have a few questions for you. Just to start with, you speak of the ideas which will address the issues of housing and climate in Africa. Um, who do you think should oversee these changes? Are we talking private business or government or both?
I think it's both actually. The initiatives, of course, can be started by private individuals like ourselves or corporate organizations. But of course, when it comes to the provision of mass housing solutions, I think government support is always required, as it's done in every part of the world. So housing is definitely an issue. Mass housing is definitely an issue that the government has to provide facilities and infrastructure for.
Excellent, thank you. Well, you also made the point that Africa is most affected by climate change. However, we're the least likely to actually undertake actions that lead to that issue of climate change. Do you think the world has a responsibility, and do you think they're aware of that responsibility vis-a-vis Africa?
Yeah, I mean, I believe that's been in discussion, and obviously there's probably efforts in reconciling these kinds of differences or discrepancies. I mean, I'm not particularly a climate change expert. I'm only sort of quoting from the facts or the data that we've been provided. But I think what's important is the realization of Africa and Africans of this issue, and taking responsibility themselves to address the potential impacts and actually find adapted measures for dealing with these kinds of problems or the impact of climate change. So I think that's, for me, the more important thing, that Africans take responsibility for also trying to address the problem themselves.
Excellent, thank you. Would you say that more needs to be done to educate the government of African countries to invest in their own urban population instead of relying on organization bodies such as the UN?
That's a very difficult question. I'm not so politically savvy, but I do think the governments of African countries are aware of this very simple fact that they do need to invest themselves. I think it's a very, very, very sensitive probably debate whether or not we should have the amount of foreign investments. I'm also not particularly an economist to be able to advise on what ratio or what sort of percentages that should be. I think definitely what's probably one of the more important things is that we should manage our resources carefully. We should use them. We should, also look for ways of using them locally, as opposed to basically trading them off. I think that there must be a correlation between foreign investments and how that is dealt with.
That's a very fair point.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks.